Jungle. Audio Jungle. Children, once again, welcome to the English class. As you know, this week also we are dealing with a poem. In the previous poem, we have learned two poetic elements, that was personification and simile. I hope personification and simile are clear to you now. Simile is comparing something to something else to understand the meaning better using words like as, like, etc. And personification is giving a human emotion or nature to non-living things or to other creatures. So these are more often used in poems to understand the poem better and to enjoy the poem. Alright, today also we are going to discuss a poem, and along with the poem we are going to learn two new poetic elements. So once again, welcome to the English class. Now I'll read you today's poem, and the name of the poem is It's Spring, and it is written by John Foster. It's spring and the garden is changing its clothes, putting away its dark winter suits, its dull scarves and drab brown overcoats. Now it wraps itself in green shoots, slips on blouses sleeved with pink and white blossom, pulls on skirts of daffodil and primrose, snowdrop socks and purple crocus shoes. Then dances in the sunlight. See what a beautiful poem it is, and how beautifully the spring season is described here in comparing the spring season to a beautiful girl maybe who is ready to dance. So beautifully the poet is welcoming the spring, where the flowers are considered as the skirts of the girl. So we'll understand the poem more, and what you should do once you get a poem for comprehension is that you have to read the poem again and again, one or two times. Only then you will understand the poem more and you will be able to enjoy the poem. Alright, so whenever you are asked to comprehend a poem, you have to reread the poem again and again so that you will be able to understand it better. So now we'll move on to the first question. Alright, so shall we discuss the questions? Before that, let's just go through the first stanza. It's spring and the garden is changing its clothes, putting away its dark winter suits, its dull scarves and drab brown overcoats. See, when you go through the first stanza, now you will understand that the spring is considered as a human being who is changing its dull clothes and trying to drab itself in beautiful colorful clothes. So what can we say about this poem and how it considers the spring? Can we not say that the poet is personifying the spring season? It is giving a human element to the spring season. So that you would have understood now after reading the poem, because we have already learned personification. So here the spring season is personified, isn't it? As it is said that the spring is changing its clothes. Usually human beings change clothes, isn't it? So like a human being, the spring season is changing its clothes and trying to wear beautiful colorful ones. Okay, so I just wanted to make that part clear to you. Now let us go to the first question. Who is changing clothes here? Is it winter spring, garden or scarves? We know the answer now, isn't it? It is spring. The spring season is changing its clothes, isn't it? So, answer is B. Now, let us discuss the second question. The garden wraps itself in dash. Blouses sleeved with pink and white blossom, skirts of daffodil and primrose, snowdrop socks or green shoots. So when you come across a question in a passage or in a poem, what you have to do is go back to the poem once again, and where this part is discussed, that we will have to find out first. So in the second stanza we can say, now it wraps itself in green shoots. It meaning it must be. So what could be the answer? The garden wraps itself in green shoots. It is very clearly given in the poem, isn't it? So answer is D. Now shall we discuss the third question? What is the third question? The line snowdrop socks and purple crocus shoes is an example for alliteration, personification, simile and rhyming words. Here personification, simile and rhyming words are what we have already discussed. What we have not discussed so far is alliteration. So let us find out what alliteration is. We have come across this word on echoing green. So let us see what is alliteration. It is the occurrence of same letter or sound at the beginning of adjacent or closely connected words. So look at that line once again. Snowdrop socks. Over here the first consonant part is the same sound, that is snow socks. So snow. So the s sound is repeated. Snowdrop socks. In both these words, the s sound is repeated, and these words are coming in the same line adjacent, that is close to each other, or if the words are coming somewhere close to each other also, we can say that it is alliteration. So what is alliteration? In simple words, when in a poem, in a sentence, if same sound is repeated again, that is the first part of the word, the same sound is repeated again, we will say that it is alliteration. Alright, snowdrop sock is an example for alliteration. Now another example for alliteration, if you go through this line, sweet birds sang. Sound is repeated again. Sweet sang. So here again there is alliteration. Hope it is clear to you. Now we will move on to the next question. I suppose question 4 is going to be easy for you because we have already discussed this part. So what is question 4? Who is personified in this poem? Is it spring? Is it garden? Is it daffodil or green shoots? Can you tell? Who is personified? It is answer A, spring. Isn't it? Isn't it the spring season that is personified, as we have discussed it earlier? I am not going into the details again. Okay. So for the question 4, answer is spring. So now shall we move on to question 5? Question 5 is purple crocus shoes is an example of metaphor, simile, personification, alliteration. So here simile, personification and alliteration are words that are familiar to you. The only word that is not familiar so far is metaphor. So we should know what a metaphor is. It is something almost similar to simile, but there is a difference. In simile, we are considering something similar to something else. You look as beautiful as a flower. So you are not the flower, but you are looking like a beautiful flower. That is how we express in the form of simile. But when you are taking the case of metaphor, we consider something as something else. For example, in the previous example, instead of saying you look like or you are as beautiful as a flower, if the poet is saying you are a beautiful rose, then it is not simile but it is metaphor. So in metaphor, you are not just comparing as beautiful as, or you are not using the word like. Instead, you are saying that this subject that we are discussing is something else. The most famous example for metaphor is from Shakespeare's drama, The World is a Stage. Have you heard that? The world is a stage. You are not saying the world is like a stage, but here Shakespeare is saying the world itself is a stage. So, where every human being is doing his role, or every human being is acting his role. So, here the poet is using metaphor to make the reader understand the intended meaning in a better way. Alright, so if to put in proper words, how will we say or how will we define metaphor? It is a thing regarded as representative or symbolic of something else. It is poetically saying something is something else. Is it clear to you now? So, purple crocus shoes. Here, the poet is not saying it is like purple shoes, but he is saying it is purple crocus shoes. Alright, so metaphor is somewhat like simile, but in simile you are comparing something to something else, whereas in metaphor you are saying that something is something else itself. You are a beautiful flower. It is not like saying you are like a beautiful flower. I hope it is clear to you. So with this we are concluding today's poetic session, and hope you understood what metaphor and what is alliteration. Okay, so have a good day. Stay safe.